YouTube family? Welcome back to Grant's Lawn Care on this October the 23rd, Thursday. It's been a while since I picked up this camera and even felt really motivated to shoot a content. But hey, I'm back for now. And as you can see, I am on one of my commercial properties and leaves are falling. These right here are pecan tree leaves. On the opposite side as the video goes on, you'll see a little bit of mixture of oak tree leaves, I believe they are, and just a little bit of grass that's still trying to hang on by a thread, but it's not super bad. So all in all, you can tell the season's trying to conclude. We've been in the 40s on the overnights, and once it really starts to cool off, the grass pretty much starts to get ready to transition into dormancy, depending the grass type it is. But again, welcome back to those of you who are new or just now seeing my video pop up across your feed and you feel like you want to join me. If you enjoyed this video, hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is totally free. I'd be glad to have you here on the channel. And if you like this video right here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and I greatly appreciate that also. Both of those actions are free, and I'm going to chime back in here with a few thoughts before this video wraps up. Sit back, enjoy, let me do the work. So for those of you who've been with me for a little while, you may remember when I first purchased this mower here, the Tiger Cat 2, just a few months ago. It actually did come with a mulching kit. But a couple of videos ago, I showed myself, taking that mulching kit off. And the reason being, the mulching kit really is great to have on your mower, but it really didn't serve me any justice, because the number one reason why is a lot of my properties are bi-weekly properties. And when the grass season is booming, it's raining, those bi-weekly yards are sitting for, 12 to 14 days. They're thick, and this mower just really didn't like it. So long story short, I took it off, and I still have it at the house. If I want to reinstall it to go through this leaf season, I can. But right now, I don't think I'm going to put it back on. So as you can see, I'm cutting at an angle here just to finally mulch up those leaves just a little bit better. Granted, yeah, if I had the mulching kit on, the shoot blocker would turn into, into powder. I get it. This is the way I'm going to do it though. So, hey, I'm going to rock and roll with it like this. It doesn't hurt me a bit to take a little bit of extra time to mulch these leaves up. And as you can see, maybe one or two leaves, as this video is going on, the leaves are going to fall right back down anyway. So there's a lot of leaves left on the trees to come down. There's a lot more time that I'm going to have to spend on this property until these pecan tree leaves and the other leaves, surrounding this property are, done coming off the trees. But that's the reason why, as this video goes on, you don't see a mulching kit on here, or you see me, as you see in this particular part right here, this is the only one I cut at, two different directions. That's why, because I took my mulching kit off, but I also still wanted to make the property look as neat as possible before, the remaining leaves on the tree trickle on down with the wind we've been having lately. So just wanted to talk about that for a moment, and I'll be back with a few more points. So here's what I'm thinking about, as this video is still going on. I know a lot of the topics on a lot of channels across the board have been, off-season work, staying busy when the grass is pretty much going dormant, how to keep funds coming in if, lawn care is strictly your own thing you do. My opinion is, and if this sounds like a broken record, hey, I apologize, because I know, if you watch one lawn care channel, you probably watch several more, and you may have heard the same point of views. But here's my thinking on that. I posted on my Instagram, which if you haven't followed me on there, that's where you'll see a lot of what I do daily, more of what I do on my Instagram, and I'll try to leave that at the end of this video. But what you can do, in my opinion, in this off season is start going around neighborhoods looking at jobs that you can confidently do, advertise for it, and go for it. You know, one of my prime examples that I posted on my Instagram was, we've had a lot of wind lately in my area, and this goes into the leaf cleanup, but we've had a lot of wind lately in my area. You can pass by these yards, in your neighborhoods, even if it's a property that you service already. Go out there, if let's just say a couple of limbs or whatever has fallen in the yard. Granted, the customer may say, hey, you can conclude the services, once the grass goes dormant, etc. That's the normal way a conversation goes. We'll see you in the spring. But let's just say you pass by there one day and this yard is covered with limbs, debris, etc. And this is a customer, that you can pretty much talk to and say, hey, look, I'll do XYZ job for you for said amount, because, we all have customers that are going to be adamant about saying, hey, look, I'll see you in the spring. I don't care about the leaves in my yard, the down limbs, etc. I don't care about all that. I'll see you in the spring. That's what my budget calls for with you. From spring till winter is the only thing my budget will allow for me to do. But let's just say you have not, had that conversation with a customer or somebody in the neighborhood that you pass by their house and see like a down limb, or a lot of people in my neighborhood I see have a lot of tree branches and big limbs down from a couple of the windstorms that we've had over the spring and summer that they just ain't taken care of. And myself personally, let's just say, hey, I want to go and make a little bit of money. I can go to those properties, knock on the door, or leave a card and say, hey, this is Grant Skirtpit Lawn Care, etc. If they contact me, great. If they don't, I can't sit back and say, hey, I ain't making no money, because at least I gave myself, or you gave yourself, the opportunity to go and get a job. Right now I'm in the middle of still, finishing up a little bit of mows. I know these last little bit of properties are pretty much, on the, downward spiral, because it's going to be cool in the nighttime, from here up until whenever. So my thing lately, I've been hauling off junk. I've been, looking at, hauling off any other type of debris that may need to be done. I have one property that I go to at least once a month already that has odds and end jobs for me to do for them. That keeps money coming in my pocket. So that's just, my opinion on, and I hate to sound like I'm rambling, but that's just my opinion on how, if turning the blades are your only way of making income, during the height of grass season, and you want to make some more money during the off season, but just haven't pondered in the mindset of how you want to do it, that's one way, in my opinion, that you can go out and make some extra money, when your funds are a little bit tight, because, if the grass isn't growing, there's really no need to have the mowers out. I know a lot of people are going to go out and start doing the overseeding, the aerating, all of that stuff. I mean, I watch a lot of channels, and these guys and girls have a lot of ideas, on how to keep bringing in money when the season concludes. For me, my season honestly does slow down when the grass slows down, because a lot of my customers are from spring till winter, or whenever the grass completely dies. And I understand that. But my thing is, I also have a full-time job that is bringing me income as well. So the majority of this conversation is about those of you who are just only doing lawn care. You're self-employed and you run your own business, and you're just trying to find ways to stay afloat until the busy season comes around again. So hopefully you take something away from that. I feel like I've been talking about the subject for too long now, but I just wanted to get that off my mind. Hopefully it helps you out, as the days ahead come. The holidays are coming, and my biggest understanding with people, because I'm a person too, is I want to have enough funds in my pocket for the holidays that are fast approaching. Your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, and your New Year's. All of those are holidays where you spend money. Halloween, I don't know if I said it just now. If I did, forgive me, but you got all of these holidays that are coming up. And a lot of people are very big on celebrating holidays, but without income or some type of funding, your celebration, unless you go to somebody else's party and they don't mind you, eating up, drinking up, etc. on all of their things, this is the way you can go out and actually grind and hustle a little bit deeper through the winter season while things are slowing down. You can hustle all the way through winter, and the next thing you know, spring is knocking at your door, and it's back to turning the blades on and getting back to normal scheduled programming. So I hope you took something away from this conversation. It feels like it's been a long-winded conversation, but I just want to get it off my mind and help somebody out. So y'all stay tuned if you made it this far in the video, and I'm going to wrap this up shortly. everyone, if you made it all the way through the video, for sticking it out, riding with me on today's journey. As you can see, looks very good. You can kind of see to my left, the property side of the other building versus this side of the yard. Granted, like I said, leaves are constantly falling as this video was being recorded. I can't do anything about it, but all in all, the end project was good. This time of the year, thank goodness, a lot of the grass only requires a one-time pass. That's one of the beauties about the season slowing down, is those one-time passes get the job done. If this was back in, let's just say, the beginning of September or late August, I probably would have been double cutting just because of the highway grass and just making sure it looked neat. All in all, as you can see here, minus the few leaves that have fallen, since I've recorded from start till now, and some of the leaves that didn't get mulched very well. All in all, property looks great. I'm wrapping it up out of here. Like I said, my time here wasn't as long as it was, back in the peak of the season. And that's a great feeling because it gives me enough time to get to the next property and keep it moving. But until we meet again, this has been Simon from Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care. Thanks for sticking this far in the video. Please, again, if you want to stay on the channel and stay in tune with me, subscribe. It's totally free. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and I will definitely catch you in the next one. Peace. Neighborhood, the right person. That limb's been down for a while. Who wouldn't like to see that cleaned up off their property? But like I said, you just gotta get out here and get to it. Be easy.